One of the most expensive domain names was sold for more than $49 million. That's a mind-blowing sum of money. Want to know what kind of website name that was? I will talk about it and more in this video, so stick with me till the end. Hey there guys, I hope you're having a great day and welcome to our video where I will do my best to explain what a domain name is. So if you're just a beginner in website hosting, website building, you're in the right place because in the upcoming minutes you will learn everything there is to know about domain names. I will explain to you what they are, how can you get one, what kind of domain name is the best, and more or less I will give you my best tips for a domain name. Plus at the end of the video I will provide you with the best saving tips that will help you get a domain name for free, or you'll be able to save huge. Let's get started. So, what's a domain name? A question that's been talked about for so long, and the answer to it is very simple. That's like an address of your home, at this particular situation of your website. Simply said, if you'll want to go to someone's house, you'll need to know where they live, right? So you'll need to know their home address. The same goes for a website. If you want to visit that website, you'll need to know the address of it, which is a domain name. For example, mybestwebsitebuilder.com is a domain name, and that's an address of our website where you can find lots of information, tutorials, comparisons, reviews, and discounts for website builders. However, every single website has an IP address, which is a random combination of numbers. That's like 207.231.81.171 or something like that. You get the idea. And basically you would have to enter a specific unique IP address in order to visit a website you like. However, domain names were sort of invented to remove all this hassle of typing the IP address all the time and simplify the whole process. So what happens is that when you enter a domain name, your computer sends a request to the DNS, which stands for Domain Name System. The DNS then checks the correct IP address for the specific domain name you've entered and then takes you to a specific website. And all of that happens within literally milliseconds. And yeah, that's basically how domain names work. But then there's another important aspect that we need to remember is how you actually choose and get a domain name for yourself. What's the best domain name? And how much does it cost? So there are lots of different types of domain names. According to the information on Domain Name Stat, 41% of people are usually choosing a domain name that ends with .com. However, that does not necessarily mean that you need to do that as well. .com domain names are the most popular ones and they demonstrate trust. For that reason, I would say that the .com domain is one of the most important reasons for getting that kind of a domain name. But nonetheless, there are domain names that are used by specific types of industries. For example, .edu for education, .gov for government, .int for international websites, .mil for military, and etc. And these are called sponsored top-level domains. Some of the domain names are made specifically for countries worldwide. An example for that would be .au for Australia, .uk for the United Kingdom, and so on. And these are called country code top-level domains. So keep in mind that there are different types of domain names that can end up with different combinations, and they can be owned by either business, military, government, and so on. But what is important is to understand how to get a good domain name for yourself. Nowadays, it is said that it is really hard to get a domain name that has a specific keyword that's really popular and hasn't been purchased by someone else. In fact, there are a few domain names that were sold for a ridiculous amount of money. For example, back in 2010, the domain name carinsurance.com was sold for $49.7 million. Someone literally became a millionaire just by selling a domain name. Another one was sold for $35.6 million, and that was insurance.com. An awesome domain name, right? Imagine having one now for an insurance company. And then there's another one that was sold for $35 million, which is called vacationrentals.com. There's a list of the most expensive domain names that were sold like that, and I'll make sure to put a link for that in the description down below, so feel free to check it out. You'll find a lot more cool information about that. Okay, but say you want to get a domain name for yourself. A question still remains. How can you get one? Well, the best way to get one would be through either a website builder or a website hosting service. I would say that this is the best option because you're most likely going to get an option for a free domain name with one of their premium plans. My recommendations for website builders would be to go either with Squarespace, Zyro, Wix, or Weebly. These are, in my opinion, the best website builders for both beginners and advanced users. So if you're looking for a way to build a website for yourself, these are going to be excellent choices. All of the website builders are self-hosted, which means that you will not need to worry about getting a website hosting service for your website. In other cases, if you would want to get a domain name from a website hosting platform, I would recommend HostGator or Bluehost, as they're one of the best web hosting providers. You can find more information about the website builders and web hosting providers here on this channel or our website mybestwebsitebuilder.com. And I will make sure to put links for those website builders as well, because we have discount codes most of the time that will help you save huge if you decide to get one of their plans. And finally, if you say that you want to get a domain name without getting either web hosting or website building services, you can purchase a domain name from a domain name registrar. Check bluehost.com, godaddy.com, as they are a recommendation for a place to purchase domain names. So, what is the best domain name? How to get one? I will provide you with the top 5 tips whilst choosing your domain name. The first one would be, it shouldn't be too long. It's best if your preferred domain name is around 2 or 3 words, as other people will just remember it more easily and it will take less time for them to type it. Then secondly, your domain name should be, again, very simple and easy to remember. It would be best not to use any fancy words, as some people might not even know them or understand them. Simplicity is what makes a good domain name. Then this one might be a little trickier, but it's also very important. Include a specific keyword in your domain name. It's not mandatory, but definitely recommended, as it will improve your chances of being recognized by search engines such as Google, Bing, or Yahoo, and possibly rank better. So if you're into, say, selling clothes, you might want to include a keyword, for example, clothing, or maybe clothes. Or maybe you own a bakery where you make the best bread in your town, so you might want to add a bakery keyword in your domain name. As mentioned, that's not mandatory, but recommended. Then the fourth tip would be that the domain name should represent your brand, specifically your brand name. So if you're selling some product that has a brand name, it would be best if you could include that brand name into your domain name. And then lastly, my recommendation would be to get a domain name that has a .com ending to it, because as I've mentioned before, it has the most trust. Of course, if it's not available, maybe you can get a domain name with a .net, .org, or other popular suffixes. So I really hope that I made it clear and you can finally understand what a domain name is, and maybe get a best domain name for yourself. As you can see, by the way, this channel is pretty new and I would totally appreciate if you would press that like button and subscribe to this channel, as it helps it grow. In the future, I will be making more videos like that, so feel free to write down in the comment section below what would you like to see later. I will read those comments personally, and if you have any questions, I will answer them as well. This is Site Guide, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!